Hi everyone, my name is Marc Bates, and you've reached the Rabbit Room Apologetics Podcast. Thank you for joining us. So, this episode is entitled The Crown of the Cosmic Temple, Recovering the Ontological Identity and Vocation of the Imago Dei. All right, let's get into it. So, for generations, 99% of Christians have been taught a subtle but devastating myth about what it actually means to be human. If you ask almost any modern believer what it means to be made in the image of God, they will instantly give you a list of human capacities and capabilities. We assume that the image of God is our intellect, our memory, our rational soul, or our free will. We think the image is simply a set of structural attributes that makes us smarter or more morally capable than the animals. We have built our entire theological anthropology on the assumption that our worth is intimately tied to our psychological and cognitive abilities. But when you strip away centuries of post-biblical theology, a massive historical glitch shatters this entire illusion. The original biblical authors did not think like Greek philosophers. The artificial idea that the image of God is a capacity was actually imported into the church by later theologians like Augustine and Thomas Aquinas, who borrowed heavily from Platonic dualism and Aristotelian logic. Let us systematically break down why this ancient Greek framework is so dangerous to the biblical text. When we impose this analytical reasoning into the scriptures, we unintentionally create a bifurcated view of humanity. If the image of God is merely your ability to reason or exercise moral agency, then the human beings whose capacities are diminished by age, severe disability, or injury are inherently devalued. You end up evaluating human worth by utility rather than by divine decree. To understand the true nature of the text, we must completely abandon the Greek mindset and step into the cognitive environment of the ancient Near East. In the ancient world, the Hebrew word Tselem, which is translated as image, was an intensely concrete term. It referred to a physical statue or an idol placed inside a temple. Right? The idol was not the God itself, but it served as the localized physical manifestation of the deity's presence, authority, and dominion over that territory. You must read this alongside the profound reality that the Genesis creation account is not a material manufacturing manual, but rather the inauguration of a cosmic temple. Over 6 days, the Creator establishes functions and installs functionaries, culminating in divine rest on the seventh day. In the ancient mind, a deity does not rest on a couch, right? A deity rests on a throne within a temple, actively ruling its domain, right? So, is there any reason why, Exodus 24, God says, "You shall not make for yourself a carved image or any likeness of anything that is in heaven"? Well, obviously, Yahweh is forbidding this practice aggressively because the creation of carved idols is completely erroneous. He has already placed his own living, breathing idols, his own living, breathing image, right, within his cosmic temple, human beings. Then God said, "Let us make man in our image." There's your Hebrew word Tselem or Salmi here. Okay? When God says, "Let us make humankind in our image," you must notice the plural pronouns, right? Our image, for example, right? Within the Hebraic cognitive environment, Yahweh is not speaking into a vacuum, nor is he speaking to himself. He is addressing the divine council, okay? The heavenly assembly of spirit beings who participate in his supernatural rule. God announces the creation of humanity to the celestial host because humans are designated to be the earthly counterpart to his heavenly council. You are a co-regent placed in sacred space to mediate the Creator's rule. Furthermore, this royal status was completely democratized by the biblical text. In ancient Egypt and Mesopotamia, only the reigning king was considered the image of the god. But the scriptures extend this royal identity to every single human being, completely equalizing male and female as the shared representatives of the divine presence. So God created man, right? Mankind. Ha-Adam, that's Hebrew for mankind, not a single person. In his image. In the image of God, he created him, male and female, he created them. So all men, all women are created in the image of God. They're all his representatives. They are rulers on the earth, right? This brings us to a radical new reality regarding your identity and the unified promise plan of God. The image of God is not an action you perform or a capacity you lose. It is your unchangeable, ontological identity. When human rebellion fractured the cosmic temple, God did not abandon his earthly images. Instead, he elected the nation of Israel to serve as a redemptive mechanism. While all humans are the image of God, Israel was uniquely chosen at Sinai to bear the name of God, functioning as the Creator's restorative representatives to the disinherited nations. This organic unfolding of the promised plan reaches its absolute climax in Jesus the Messiah. And here we go to Colossians 1:15. He is the image, speaking of Christ, of the invisible God. So once again, here he is the, and remember, image here, he is the representative. He is how we see God. The firstborn of all creation, for by him all things were created. Okay? Jesus succeeds exactly where the first Adam failed. He is the perfect image, the ultimate human who cleanses the cosmic temple through his obedient life. His defeat of rebellious spiritual powers and his sacrificial death, these plus the resurrection, prove that the original physical creation project still matters to God. And through union with Christ, believers from all nations are grafted onto the commonwealth of Israel. This is where Paul uses the olive tree metaphor, right? Of the branches being grafted on to the olive tree, which is the commonwealth of Israel, to resume their original royal vocation. You are not defined by what you can produce or comprehend. You are the crown of the cosmic temple, endowed by the Creator to physically manifest his presence on the earth. If you are ready to abandon the philosophical traditions of men, honor the absolute dignity of every human person, and reclaim the supernatural reality of the Scriptures, join us here and subscribe to the Rabbit Room Apologetics channel, and let us continue exploring the ancient paths together. So, there's a lot here. Of course, once again, as always, this video is based upon my Substack article, The Crown of the Cosmic Temple. Mentioned the title earlier. The article is a much longer, fuller representation of the ideas here, fully documented with citations and bibliography. So you have that ability to delve into that. So think about doing that. The link for the Substack will be in the description. And if you kind of like what's going on behind you here with Logos, this is my favorite Bible study. So let's say we want to look at, I like Colossians 1:15, right? So one of the things I like here, Colossians 1:15. Here are 5 of the most common Bibles that I quote from, view or translate this text. But I also really prefer working in the original language as much as possible. And if we're trying to figure out this idea of image here, right? The icon. Well, here is the Louanida lectionary. which is one of my favorites, that talks about it, right? So it's an object, but not necessarily three-dimensional, which has been formed to resemble a person, God, animal, etc. A likeness, an image. So you get access to a lot of tools here to help you understand the original languages, how the different translators translated these items, right? Lots of choices here. If you like this and you want to try it, in the description will be a link where you can get a 30-day free trial plus a discount should you wish to go beyond that. Think about it. It's something you can do. But think about sharing this video and liking it with your friends. It's a great place to start thinking about these ideas and working with them on it. And ask me questions. Comment. Tell me what you thought. Tell me what you thought maybe I missed up on, right? What ideas I have that are not correct, what ideas that maybe got you thinking a little bit more about something, right? The whole idea here is I'm not trying to change you into something you're not. I want you to just understand how some of the early text was intended to be read, in my opinion, by the original authors and the original audience, so that you can expand your view of God and your relationship with Him, right? It's all about understanding God so we can serve Him better. So with that in mind, be blessed. Have a great day. Go out there. Serve God a little bit. And as always, remember, God is good all the time.